Hey guys, don't pay attention in anything in this fucking YouTuber. I just fight real fighters. Don't fucking around with Canelo. Come on, let's go.
How's it going, everyone? I hope you guys are all doing well. So obviously there was a big news announcement originally that Canelo Alvarez was going to fight against Jake Paul. And actually I was going to be making a video on that fight. Obviously, massive breaking news. And then shortly after, it was announced that actually Canelo Alvarez will not be fighting against Jake Paul. He will fight an interim fight against William Scull for the IBF title. Providing he comes through that fight, he would then be fighting Terence Crawford in September. So, we're not going to get the Jake Paul-Canelo fight. Even when that fight did get announced, I was very skeptical. Jake Paul, someone that, I'm not a big fan of, but really someone that's just been making a living off of fighting MMA fighters, a lot of those retired and older age fighters. And then obviously had that big fight with Mike Tyson. We saw Jake Paul when he stepped up against a professional boxer and a novice at that in Tommy Fury. He lost almost every single round. So the Canelo Alvarez fight, it wouldn't really have made much sense. Obviously, it would have made a lot of money, but unless there's something in that contract that would have said that Canelo Alvarez, couldn't knock him out, or he had to carry him for a few rounds, then that would have just been, one of the most one-sided fights of all time. So yeah, it looks like we're not going to get that fight. I'm going to get William Scull first. As for the William Scull fight, am I excited for it? Absolutely not. No disrespect to William Scull, but he's not a big name in boxing. If you look through the resume and the record, not many, impressive wins there. So look, let's see what he brings to the table. Obviously, this is a fight for the IBF title. It's a mandatory, so Canelo kind of has to fight him if he wants to fight against Terence Crawford to be for undisputed. It looks like we'll get that fight. I assume Canelo Alvarez will make light work of Scull. Probably get him out of there, I would say, in and around 6 rounds. And then, it does look like we will get that September fight with Terence Crawford. It looks like Terence Crawford is not going to be taking a fight in the meantime. I would say if I was Terence Crawford, I would like a fight in the meantime. If you're going to go against Canelo Alvarez, moving up into 2 weight classes, really you should want to fight in the interim. The last time we saw Terence Crawford, it was at 154 pounds, his first fight there. He actually didn't look great. I think a lot of people actually thought that Madrimov may have edged that fight. And I think at times Crawford was, looking a little bit slower, and, he was getting bullied at times by Madrimov. So to then move up 2 more weight classes, I think this will be a pretty straightforward fight for Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, Terence Crawford is a good fighter. He's someone that, is obviously, very dedicated. He got a good mentality. And absolutely, Terence Crawford will try and win. He's not going to go in there and lay down, but I think it's a pretty tough task to even make that fight competitive. I know that people say, Canelo's short and everything, but if you're used to getting hit by 168 pounders, 175 pounders, you've got hit clean on the chin by guys like Golovkin. What is someone that, is a puncher at 147 pounds going to do to you? As we saw, Crawford did not even come close to knocking out Madrimov at 154. And would Crawford knock out a Virgil Ortiz? I don't think so. I don't think, Terence Crawford even has power at 154 pounds. He's a respectable puncher, but, he's not knocking. I don't think he would knock guys out at 154. So I expect that to be a pretty routine fight for Canelo Alvarez. I think obviously the disappointing thing is, it looks like we're basically never going to get that David Benavidez fight. And I think that will be a real shame. I've made a video about it previously, where I do think this does tarnish Canelo's legacy a little bit. I think David Benavidez is someone that's more than deserving of that fight. Canelo Alvarez, in the past has made excuses about the fact that, he doesn't want to give David Benavidez money. But David Benavidez is a star in his own right. He's a star in his own right. He's fought other, top-level fighters now. Caleb Plant, Morrell's a good win. You saw what he did to Demetrius Andre. So I think Benavidez is more than deserving of that fight. Obviously, an all-Mexican clash. And I think Robert Garcia also made a video on it. And that's probably the reason why Canelo doesn't want that fight. It's different to lose to your countrymen. If you were to lose to David Benavidez, the person on the street is going to say, there is a new king there's a new king in town. Canelo, was a great champion, but now it's David Benavidez's time. And, maybe Canelo wants to hold on to that, King of Mexico throne a little bit longer. So I don't think we're going to get that fight. And I think, like I said, I think that is a shame. So yeah, just a quick video. Again, just to recap, we are not getting Jake Paul against Canelo Alvarez. It looks like we're going to get the Williams Scull fight. And then in September, providing Canelo comes through, we will get Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford. Most likely going to be in America. I would assume probably Las Vegas. As always, make sure to let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Are you guys glad that we're not getting the Jake Paul fight? And what do you think about a Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford fight?